Mr. Gallo, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information alleges that on or about October 2nd of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you, Michael Gallo III, committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Mr. Gallo, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Sure.
And to this charge, Mr. Gallo, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallo, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that is checked nolla contingere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Gallo, is this your signature? And on the next page, on the next document rather, this document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case. And you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? You have the discovery certification. Mr. Gallo, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallo, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallo, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me states 1. State, like office states 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
No objections. States 1 is admitted. Mr. Faggett, you've advised and counseled Mr. Gallo. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Gallo, your attorney, Mr. Faggett, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent
Yes, sir.
legal representation? Mr. Gallo, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor. It's
Yep.
180 days, probated for 1 year, a $750 fine, 80 hours of community service to run concurrently with 331380.
What is this court cause? What is it? Is it court card 357? Okay. $100 violence fee. Mr. Faggett, are you appointed in this case?
I am, Your Honor.
Is it 250 on this?
2 cases, so it'll be, yes,
250 in this one?
Your Honor, on the date on the first case, I think you said something about December. It was actually October the 2nd.
I said October.
Yeah,
I said December.
whatever it is, I just wanted to be clear on the record.
Oh, it was on the information.
Right.
Yeah, it says October 2nd, 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Is that one? Yeah.
And the second one? was
The
in
second one is
December.
December 4th.
Right, that's
Yes.
correct.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Gallo, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $357. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $6 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you'll be required to pay $100 to a family violence center in the Jefferson County area. You'll also be required to pay $250 attorney's fees and reimbursement to Jefferson County and $15 reimbursement fee. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month, is $216 a month. Will you be able to pay $216 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, and this case will run concurrent with cause number M331380. Now, Mr. Gallo, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Gallo, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Gallo, we will move to your next case. And your next case is cause number M331380. And in this case, Mr. Gallo, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, Mr. Gallo, it alleges that you, Michael Gallo III, on or about December 4th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of violation of a protective order. Mr. Gallo, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Gallo, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No problem.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? What did he say? Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Gallo, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that says check note contingent. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box says check states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box says check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
You have the
Yes, Your
discovery certification. I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Gallo, before you signed and issued these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me Stakes 1. State you like to offer Stakes 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None.
No objections. Stakes Exhibit 1 is admitted. Mr. Faggett, you advising counsel, Mr. Gallo, in this case, is there any evidence that he's currently admitted in competent stand trial?
None.
And Mr. Gallo, your attorney, Mr. Faggett, has advised and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with his services in this case? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Sir.
Mr. Gallo, I will accept your plea of no contest I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
We do, Your Honor. It's
Yep.
180 days probated for 1 year. We are waiving the fine in this case, 80 hours of community service to run concurrently with 327,966.
The cost for-
It's, the court cost is $337.
Yes.
Is there, I'm gonna have to pay that fee in this one too.
There's gonna be a $50 for the first fee, but other than that, there's not.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Gallo, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine because the state has waived the fine in this case. However, you will be required to pay a court cost of $337, probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, a reimbursement fee of $15, and you reimburse Jefferson County for court-appointed attorney's fees of $15. Now, the total monthly installments in this case will be $118. However, because you're already on probation, you'll be on probation, you will not be required to pay the reimbursement fee and the probation fee. So your total monthly installments in this case would actually be $43 a month. Will you be able to pay the probation fee of $43 each month?
Wow, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. This case will run concurrent with cause number 327,966. Mr. Gallo, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallo, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Gallo, get a hand up to Mr. Gallo. Mr. Gallo, I need to read to you what is titled a written admonition on the ineligibility to possess a firearm ammunition. In accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you or warns you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, A, firearms mean any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearms does not include a firearm that may have, as an integral part, a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if The replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code, Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code, Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code, Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code, Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Now, Mr. Gallo, the written admonition that you have been given, that it is for your records. This will conclude your case. You're going to stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Thank you.
One of the cases on fire went up to
Mr. Kirkpatrick, your full name is Brandon M. Kirkpatrick?
Yes,
Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you doing?
this one, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Kirkpatrick. See here on the docket sheet, you have a pending felony case?
I got it. Yes, sir. I hired Mr. Gertz and we're trying to get this charge in line with the other two felonies. He just told me to come here and ask for that. I spoke to him Friday, that's right.
Okay, so Gertz is gonna represent you on this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have a seat in the first chair by the wall, and then when the court coordinator comes back, we're gonna have her to reset your case, do you have a felony date? Do you have
This coming out Monday.
It is set for November 6th.
so what we normally do is try to keep them together. We're gonna reset this one for November the 6th too.
Okay.
And then on that date, they'll be together, then we could keep on resetting them until they get disposed. Okay?
Thank you.
This is Brandon Kirkpatrick, page 7 of the announcement docket. He said he hired Mr. Gertz. Yes, and you have a blessed day. This felony case is November the 6th, so we're gonna reset it on the same day. Dylan Garner. Mr. Garner, your full name is Dylan Deshaun Garner. How you doing, Mr. Garner? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Garner, you have not hired an attorney to represent you, is that correct?
Yeah, I was gonna do G code, but
Who?
Giles Cole.
Oh, you say G code, okay, threw me off, okay.
you know, but he won't take me.
So you need some more time to hire your attorney? Give him how much time you need.
I'm gonna sit.
Okay, but how much time you need? 30 days or less or more? What? January? Okay. Give us a reset date. He's on page 7 of the announcement docket. It's gonna be reset January 22nd. Just go have a seat in that first chair, and then when she's ready for you, you go up to her window and she's gonna reset your case. Once your case is reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Kenneth Pulse, excuse me, William Kenneth Pulse, please come forward. This is cause number 23CCCR0154. Case is filed the state of Texas versus William Kenneth Pulse. Mr. Pulse, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
How you doing, Mr. Pulse?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
That's good. You're welcome. And Mr. Pulse, you represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
Great, Judge. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Pulse's case?
Judge, it's still a trial, but we're gonna need to continue it. I filed a motion, the standard blood discovery order, and I don't see that it was, at least I haven't received the signed version. So maybe the court has it unsigned still.
You give me a copy of that.
I think he mentioned that at the last setting, he was gonna file it, and it takes a long time, we haven't gotten anything back, so.
Okay. Hmm? This is William Pulse on the trial docket.
23. 0154.
Here it is. It was filed last month?
September 28th.
Yeah, that's what I see. I don't see. Give me a. Mhm. Oh,
Sorry. I'm in a friend for him to show.
okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay, give him a reset date.
You said the child actor
Yep.
Yes.
wanted for 22nd.
Here you go. Okay, your case is gonna be reset till January, you said January 22nd, 2024. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, I gotta get a call from the dogs at school. Make an announcement on mine and Fred Vickers. Fred Vickers. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Page 4.
Archie. Fred Vickers. Chris.
You say what page?
Page 4 of the announcement package.
Fred Vickers.
Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 0042. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Fred Corbett Vickers. Mr. Vickers, how are you doing?
Doing great yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Vickers, you're representing the case by your attorney Kevin Lane. Attorney Lane, how are you doing?
Fine.
Hey, Mr. Lane, what's your announcement in Mr. Vickers' case?
I just need one more announcement, Your Honor. He has been having some medical issues. I have the offer, I have the video. He just needs to come in and watch it.
Give us a reset date.
It's January 8th.
January 8th, 2024 is the date that your case is reset to Mr. Vickers for announcement. Your attorney's gonna get a copy of your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Mr. Lane, once you get your reset, you're free to go as well.
Thank
You
you
have a
so
blessed
much.
day.
Great.
We're gonna recall Cassidy Faith Eaves. Okay. Okay, this is cause number M334-298, case is styled the state of Texas versus Cassidy Faith Eaves. Ms. Eaves was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., Ms. Eaves' name was called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Ms. Eaves did not answer. Reasonable time has passed to give Ms. Eaves an opportunity to appear in court. The time now is 10:14 a.m. on today's date. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Cassidy Eaves at the courthouse door? Chastity's name was just called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Chastity Eaves did not answer. A reasonable time has passed, to give Ms. Eaves an opportunity to appear in court. She has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
State makes a motion for a bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
That motion will be granted. Chastity Eaves' bond will be forfeited and warrant shall be issued for arrest. And cause number M334-298. And Attorney Baldry,
Yes, sir.
you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Did anybody else show up, that you had?
No.
Previously called? Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Frank. David Frank. You said his attorney is Burbank,
Okay, what docket is this?
announcement docket, page 6.
Announcement page? David Fitzgerald Frank. David Fitzgerald Frank. Mr. Frank, your full name is David Fitzgerald Frank?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Frank? Okay, now, Mr. Frank, here on the docket, we show that you don't have an attorney, but I think you appeared here before, and you stated that Tom Burbank was representing you in your felony case.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? And he's supposed to represent you in your misdemeanor case? He has not filed a letter of representation on the misdemeanor. Right. No, you're supposed to do it the last time. Yeah. You were supposed to do it a few months ago.
Well, they got an order, motion to withdraw, and then there was an order. that
Was it signed?
On January 23rd of this year. So unless he's gonna,
Or did you rehire him?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he has not announced.
and he did call him about the other claim.
Because we wouldn't send him notice if his name wasn't here.
Right.
Have you talked to him? Is he still representing you on your felony? When is your felony set?
But whoever did that, he had left last, it was last month, I came, he had left, he didn't come here, he had left after he did.
No. My question to you is,
I got over probation, so.
oh, so your felony is over?
Yep.
So you no longer have a felony? And you say Burbank is in trial?
He's at trial today. He got.
Okay. Just give him a sharp reset in a few weeks. So you need to talk to Mr. Burbank. This case is gonna be reset to November 27, 2023. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Actually, he has 2 cases.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and you see the.
Okay.
Kyle.
What's the last name?
Is Daniel McCown here?
Alter.
McCown? That was reset?
That was reset. You can, James Padgett was hot.
Okay.
And
Marlon Riley?
that was reset. Tom Burbank reset that. Tom is on, one of the cases, and he had 2 other cases. That he hadn't announced on, but he said he said, he can file a letter.
Alan Watson?
Please, he's in country.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one that's not coming to a warrant.
Okay. Okay, we have Mr. Ross.
This belongs to Walker, every time, Walker King.
Yes.
Jefferson County Court Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number M331716. The case is filed in the state of Texas versus Alberto Rene Sanchez. And Mr. Sanchez is represented in this case by his attorney Charles Rojas. And Mr. Ross informed the court that Mr. Sanchez speaks Spanish.
Actually, Judge, Mr. Sanchez just told me he does. He can speak. He can do it in English.
He did. Okay, do it in English. Okay. Now, Mr. Sanchez, your full name is Alberto Rene Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Sanchez, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? You may put your hand down. Mr. Sanchez, how are you doing, Mr. Sanchez? You doing all right? That's good, and you're welcome. Now, Mr. Sanchez, you're represented in your case by your attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
State, is represented in this case by attorney Sarah Staub. Attorney Staub, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Sanchez's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I have before me a document that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this document, it alleges that you add Alberto Rene Sanchez on or about November 19 of 2021, while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that before this offense was committed by you, that you, Alberto Rene Sanchez, on November 6th of 2007, in the County Court at Law number 3 of Jefferson County, Texas, in cause number 252947, that you were convicted of the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, and that conviction became final before the commission of this offense. Is that true or not true?
It's true, sir.
It's true. Now, to the Class A misdemeanor offense of DWI second, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Guilty. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? You're guilty, okay. Now, Mr. Sanchez, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
I can see so far.
You should, you
But yes, I just filmed it in there.
you recognize that document?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials above the line that is titled
Yes, sir.
guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir, I just did.
Okay. On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant.
Yes,
Is
sir.
this your signature?
Mhm, mhm.
And at the top of this next document, at the bottom, well, first of all, I have another document here that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And
I'm close.
is this your signature on the line that's titled
Yes,
defendant?
sir, that is.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Mhm.
Discovery certification. I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Sanchez, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Mhm.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Sanchez, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me states 1. State, you like to offer states exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Rojas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Sanchez. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Sanchez, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir, he did.
Mr. Sanchez, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor. It's for 180 days, probated for 1 year, $1,000 fine, 80 hours of community service, an interlock device, and the mandatory 72 hours in jail with the standard DWI condition.
You got 60 hours of community service on this one.
Yeah, that's my mistake, Judge. I thought it was 60.
It may have been my head. It's definitely an 8.
Okay.
It's okay. So that's 80 hours of community service. And what are the other terms?
The interlock device, the mandatory 72 hours, and the standard DWI condition.
When is the 72 hours to start?
November 11th.
You say November 11th?
Yes, sir.
2023. 6. Intervention.
I did just what you were using.
What's the court cause?
407.
407.
Mr. Rojas definitely know who paid the money. I don't want to do it for community service.
Let's see, so it's Mr. Ross, were you appointed on this case?
No, sir.
Okay. We don't have no additional fee, right?
No.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, this 180 days will be probated, which means you will not have to serve this 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $407. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You will also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $211 a month. Will you be able to pay the $211 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate.
I already have that. Sir.
Good. Now, you'll be required to attend and complete the DWI intervention course. You will serve 72 hours in the Jefferson County Jail beginning November 11th of 2023 at or before 6 p.m. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of this DWI probation. Mr. Sanchez, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I did. The only question I know, need to go, they go tell me where place need to go, or just
You come out.
to the jail.
I'll give you a paper for that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, I did.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Sanchez, you're gonna stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir, thank you.
This is your copy of the publication, and also provide a copy that will bring you to the jail.
Kyle Jackson. Let's see what's going on. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 0446. Case is style of state of Texas versus Kyle Anthony Jackson. Mr. Jackson, is that your full name? Mr. Jackson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Jackson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jackson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Jackson?
Good.
That's good, Mr. Jackson. You're representing your case by your attorney, Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence, how are you doing?
Just fine, Your Honor.
Mr. Lawrence, do you waive a record in Mr. Jackson's case?
Yes, since it is uncontested, I believe so. If you'll check the rules, Your Honor, I think the rules were changed about a little over a month ago. It came out in the bar journal that on any contested cases, you now have to have a record.
Okay, but this is not contested.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay. So you waiving a record in this case, is that correct?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, let's see. Mr. Jackson, and I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed on July. Okay, this information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Kyle Anthony Jackson, on or about July 17 of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of a dangerous drug. Mr. Jackson, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No comment.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Mr. Jackson, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, KJ, on a line next to a box that says check, no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document.
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box check states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Discovery certification. I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Jackson, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Jackson, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jackson, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Barnes should be advised and counseled Mr. Jackson. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jackson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor. It's for 1 year deferred probation, a $200 fine, and 40 hours of community service.
For the purposes of the fine, Your Honor, I will note that the defendant is indigent.
We hadn't even asked that question.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Mr. Jackson, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you will be paying a fine of $200. What's the court costing? $377. This is 1 year. Okay. Now, Mr. Lawrence, were you appointed in this case?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's see. Okay. You have a copy of this? Yes.
We'll also have that $8 claim.
Thank you. You said it's 100
Yes,
crime lab?
yes, that's a comment.
Okay, now, Mr. Jackson, the state is offering that you serve 100 and, well, the state is offering that you be placed on probation for 1 year and as deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $200 plus court costs of $377 plus a probation fee of $60 each month, a reimbursement fee of $15 each month, a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court Appointed attorney's fees of $250, and you will be required to pay a crime victim fee. Crime lab fee of $100. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $167 a month. Will you be able to pay the $167 a month?
No, sir.
Okay, now, let's see, Mr. Jackson, I have before me a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Injuries. I'm handing this document to your attorney. He's going to let you look at it. Now, Mr. Jackson, the document that I've just handed to your attorney, do you recognize that document?
You recognize this?
Show him his signature.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 2 of that document, there should be there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant's signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Jackson, is everything on that document still true and correct today? The financial,
Oh, yes, sir.
okay, all right, you can hand that back to me.
Yes, Your Honor, I will add that he's only 20 years old and he still lives at home with his mother. Still lives with his mother, so, and he does not have a job. I would add to.
Now, Mr. Jackson, the court is going to find that you are indigent. That means that you do not have enough money to pay. And so what the court is going to do pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the court is going to If y'all need to talk, y'all can go in the conference room. The court is in session.
Six. 46 hours. Service. Reduce. Probation fee that to 25.
Okay. $25 a month. Okay, now, Mr. Jackson. The fine and court costs, which is a total of $577, is going to be converted to 46 hours of community service. So you'll be required to perform 46 hours of community service, and your probation fee is going to be reduced to the statutory minimum from $60 to $25 a month. You understand that? And now, this 46 hours of community service defined in court costs will be in addition to the 40 hours of community service that you also required to perform. So you'll be performing a total, that's right, a total of 86 hours of community service. Do you understand that? Now, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, now, Mr. Jackson, the court is going to follow the plea bargain agreement. If you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Jackson, you're going to stand on the X. Well, stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Judge, on page 6 of the announcement docket, Jackie Robinson. He said that his case was reset in felony court.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, where is Mr. Jackie Robinson? Okay, you say he's on page 6?
Yes. And then Freddie.
Hold on, Mr. Robinson, would you come forward? Now, Mr. Robinson, your case is going to be reset with your felony case. You're going to stand in front of our court coordinator. She's going to reset your case. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
What is the reset?
Do you have a court? You don't have a court date? Okay.
It was
So you-
on the trial docket, so I'm sure that they'll send the court date.
Okay, so,
Send some to my bond and my lawyer like they did last time.
okay, so you're going to be free to go. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman because they will get notice of your reset dates. And it's going to be reset on this case, is going to be reset on that same day that you felt. You're free to go. You have a blessed day.
And can we get
Well-
Jackson out the way because his person is a prisoner. So they don't have a-
No, yeah.
Watisha Jackson?
Yes,
Would
Your
you
Honor.
want to go get Watisha Jackson?
Judge, I haven't had an opportunity to confer with my client about the state's new offer on the case, but I expect this to be a
Trying to get
win
her
at this
done.
point.
Okay. Okay, so you need to,
Yeah,
you could talk to her?
yes, sir, and I'll let
Okay.
you know in the next.
Okay.
Oh, you need.
Yeah. 'Cause it's-
Okay, Mr. Let's see who we have. Glenn Ballard? Okay, any particular reason why y'all standing up? Okay, just have a seat. We'll call your name. Okay, now, Mr. Adams, this is your client? Is this his name is on the,
William
Okay.
Tyler.
Oh, yeah, it has a reason, I'm sorry.
Mr.
I was paying, I wasn't paying.
Okay, so this is cause numbers M326996, cause number M332430. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Glenn Paul Ballard. Mr. Ballard, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Ballard?
Good, sure.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Ballard. You're representing your cases by your attorney, Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, how are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Mr. Adams, what are your announcements in Mr. Ballard's cases?
Just one reset so I can get in and look at this going.
Okay, State, you have any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Give us a reset date.
January 8th.
Okay, this case is reset to January 8th, 2023. Mr. Ballard, your attorney is going to get your recess. Once you get your recess from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Joseph Loop or Loopy? The last name is pronounced Loop? Loop, okay. This is cause number M332808, case of style of state of Texas versus Joseph David Loop. Mr. Loop, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Loop? That's good, Mr. Loop. You're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, what is your announcement in Mr. Loop's case?
They both were coming in Tuesday next week,
So you need this one to reset as well?
the same day.
State, you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Loop, your case is going to be reset to January 8th of 2023. Get an opportunity for you to confer with your attorney. Mr. Loop, your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. All right. Okay, he's signing somebody up. What's the, why don't you go find the general?
She said that Paget told him to come back and check in, so I assumed that you were waiting for Paget to come back.
Oh, that's the gentleman that was in drug court?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that case, now, why don't you come on up? Yeah, Mr. Paget was here earlier, and he went over to drug court to handle your case.
Yes.
And now, you Kendall Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, did they give you a reset date?
Yes, sir.
What was the date?
I think it's November 13th.
November 13th? Did they give you some paperwork?
No, yeah, I got it.
He kept the paperwork.
Yes.
Okay, so this case is going to be reset because he wanted this case reset with your felony case.
Yes, sir.
So this case is going to be reset with your felony case. Just have a seat in that first chair by the wall. She's going to check the date to see if it's in the computer. If it's not in the computer, then she'll tell you to leave and it'll be reset. Both of them will be reset on the same day.
Okay.
Now, if it's in the computer, she's going to give you a reset. Is that correct?
Sure, sir.
Okay, you understand. Taylor Howard, Chuck.
Judge, we got a new offer in that case and we're gonna be signing her up. She's right up.
Okay,
I'm gonna be.
okay.
Put her
Mr. Kelly. Yes, I didn't see.
He has one on,
The pretrial docket, I believe, Your Honor. First one.
Yeah.
For me, it's first one.
Retrial?
it's on.
You are the pretrial docket.
What does that mean?
Conference, it says, yeah, pre-trial conference,
What page?
page 2, the first.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Get in touch with your attorney because they haven't put the court date in.
Brandon Keith Barnhart.
Present.
Submit means you expressed interest in a trial, but it's not yet on the.
Okay, this is cause number M 332-868, case of South State of Texas versus Brandon Keith Barnhart. Mr. Barnhart, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Barnhart? That's good, Mr. Barnhart. You're representing your case by Attorney Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, how are you doing?
Okay, Judge, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Kelly, what is your announcement in Mr. Barnhart's case?
Judge, could we stay on your pretrial conference docket for maybe one more setting? I'd like to talk about Brandon's case with our new prosecutors in the meantime, if we can.
State, you have any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, give us a reset.
Same docket,
Yes.
November 27.
Okay, this case will be reset November 27, 2023. That's going to stay on the pretrial conference document, Mr. Barnhart. Your attorney going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
May I approach momentarily?
Yes, you have
The one
something.
we have to. Fair,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
Yes, Your Honor. I just checked with the district court,
What are you here on?
the William O'Neill Walker case is.
Okay,
on
that's the
docket.
gentleman that has a felony today. Is that correct?
They've reset the case and the secretary said it would be reset to pass the New Year's.
I'm saying, but is William O'Neill Walker present?
He's not here, Your Honor. He's in custody. He may be,
Okay,
he may be back there.
okay, so we'll do real resetting with the felon. I see it says here, he's in custody.
Yep.
Jail says yes.
Contact him.
So, yeah, look on page 4 where it says jail. Page 4 of the announcement docket, it says jail says yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you're free to go. This case will be reset with his felony.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Where did Mr. Lewis go?
Reset it with his felony.
This one, O'Neill Walker, he's in custody.
Okay. That's all.
Whoever moved, did answer.
Marvin Lewis. Want you? Are you Mr. Donata?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we have this.
Huh?
Mr. Jackson. You need to Eaves, your case was set at 9 a.m. this morning.
Yes, sir.
Your attorney, Mr. Daniel Baldry, appeared.
Yes, sir. I went to the wrong courthouse and I don't really know. I'm not familiar with this area of downtown Beaumont. Sorry.
You went to the wrong courthouse?
Yes, sir.
What courthouse you went
By
to?
the post office.
You went to a federal courthouse?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. The state,
I
you,
don't have a phone, so I didn't have GPS or anything.
you have your attorney's number?
I do.
Okay,
I
now,
talked to him already.
today?
Just a while ago. He said he'd come in here still, and he's not coming back until 1.
To what?
So he's gonna be back up here at 1.
We released him when we entered.
I know.
the law enforcement.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm just,
really
I'm,
bad money.
hold on, just because, I'm just wondering why he's coming back at 1.
He doesn't need to, we can reset her.
Right, so y'all gonna recall the bond forfeiture?
Yes, sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So I can still get it?
no,
No?
just listen, just listen. The state is recalling the bond forfeiture. That means that the bond forfeiture went away. You don't have a bond forfeiture. Your bond is not forfeited. It's still intact.
Okay.
Okay, so your case is going to be reset.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you need to be here on time.
Yes, sir. I know where
the
it is
next
now.
Okay. Now, you're not from here?
I'm in from Lumberton.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
Hardin County.
Well, okay. Now, just have a seat in that 4th chair right there by the wall. And when she's ready for you, you're gonna go to her window. Okay. Did we get a reset date on that? Miss Eaves, her case is gonna be reset. She went to the federal courthouse. Hmm. Got a date? He's on page 1 of the announcement docket.
But on the 22nd.
November 27th? Okay, your case is gonna be reset November 27th. No, she'll call you to the window when she's ready.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. That's Jackson.
Well, we're gonna put on the back so you can make her check on it. So she can. We need to know that.
Do we have any? Are you ready on yours?
We're just, the paperwork is somewhere along the chain, Judge.
I thought somebody else was leaving. Who was that? Oh, wow. Wow. Did you already,
I'm doing it now.
Mr. Doyle,
Sure.
can you come far?
I'm
Wow.
I think we redo this.
Well,
Oh, I think we redo this.
Mr. Doyle, maybe we didn't. Okay, this is cause numbers M332922, cause number M334308. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Quentin Donata. Mr. Donata, that's your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Donata, you represented by your attorney, Attorney Marvin Lewis. Attorney Lewis, how are you doing?
Doing all right, Judge.
I'm doing fine. Mr. Lewis, what is your announcement?
Judge, we have felonies pending on this one in drug impact court. We've been reset to December 4th.
You reset to December 4th?
Yes, sir. And so we were asking that these cases be carried to the same date.
Okay, so we're gonna reset these cases to December 4th as well.
Okay.
You can get your reset from your from our coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Stay in contact with your attorney. You have a blessed day as well. Okay. Anybody else had an announcement, please? Do you have the plea papers?
Have one minute. Because they're gonna run.
Okay. So that she has like 4 cases.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackson? You talking about Jackson?
Oh, no, I'm talking about that fire truck.
Oh, you have that. Okay, hire truck is is that Gertz case?
That's good. I don't like reference that.
Okay,
I'm gonna be working on that.
where's Gertz?
They're working on it, but-
There he is, right there. You said they're working on the second one?
Yes, sir. I don't know that.
So this court date was December 4th.
This is on the pretrial conference docket. Which cause number do you have?
At the end to
663?
I'm about to send the paperwork.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Kurtz, you can come on up.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. You ready? Okay. This is cause number M328663 and cause number M332777. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Taylor Morgan Harchuck. Ms. Harchuck, is that your full name?
Yes,
Ms. Harchuck, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Harchuck, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
yes.
Ms. Harchuck, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Harchuck?
I'm very good, all right.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. You need her to sign something?
I do, Judge. This is the discovery certification, but we can
Okay.
go out.
Okay, Ms. Harchuck, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Ryan Gertz. Attorney Gertz, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge.
Mr. Gertz, do you waive a record in Ms. Harchuck's case?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Harchuck, I have before me a document that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled Information. In this information, it alleges that you, Taylor Morgan Harchuck, on or about November 7th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas. Ms. Harchuck, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest.
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Ms. Harchuck, I also have before me a document that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Can you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of the Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes,
The
sir.
second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Also have the discovery certification.
Yes, sir.
You can.
That's what.
Oh.
Your Honor, the state is working.
Okay, now, Ms. Harchuck, I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Harchuck, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I have just shown you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Harchuck, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 in the evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objections.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Gertz, you've advised and counsel Ms. Harchuck, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Judge.
Ms. Harchuck, your attorney, Mr. Gertz, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Absolutely.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Absolutely.
Ms. Harchuck, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And State, do we have an offering cause number M32863? And what is that offer?
This, the offer is a plea to the state's, the plea to the state's offer on the 2 cases that Ms. Harchuck has. They were to run concurrent. The offer is 15 months deferred probation with a $500 fine, 60 hours community service, an interlock device, and DWI standard conditions.
So you say that 15 months deferred and what?
$500 fine,
$500 fine,
60 hours community service,
60 hours of community service,
interlock device,
interlock,
and the DWI standard conditions.
So this is first. Okay, what's the court cost?
407.
407. Okay, Ms. Hirechuck, state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During this probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court cost of $107. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month and a urinalysis fee of $15 a month. And you'll be required to pay Jefferson County reimbursement fee. And you'll also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now the fee is $125, and if should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $146 a month. Will you be able to pay the $146 each month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment. You'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Ms. Hirechuck, do you understand the state's offering?
Yes.
And let me do this here now, Ms. Hirechuck. Now this offense occurred after September 1 of 2019. And do you have a commercial driver's license, a CDL?
Oh, no, sir.
And the breath test was not above 0.15, is that correct?
It was 0.08, Judge.
Okay. Now, so she's eligible for deferred. So, Ms. Hirechuck, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Ms. Hirechuck, I'll follow the people are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Hirechuck, let's see, we can move on to her next case.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Hirechuck, we move on to your next case, call number M332777. And in this case, Ms. Hirechuck, I have an information that was also filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, Ms. Hirechuck, it alleges that you, Taylor Morgan Hirechuck, on or about June 14th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Ms. Hirechuck, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Ms. Hirechuck, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
yes,
Ms. Hirechuck, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
yes.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that said guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, just titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document.
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hirechuck, before you signed and initial these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Gertz, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
We have no objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Gertz, you advise and counsel Ms. Hirechuck in this case, is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Judge.
And Ms. Hirechuck, the attorney, Mr. Gertz, has advised and counseled you in this case.
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the representation in this case?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hirechuck, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you're mentally incompetent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
That that offer is running concurrent with the previous case. The offer is 15 months deferred, $500 fine, 60 hours community service, interlock device, GWI steering conditions.
An interlock device on a theft?
Oh, like I was saying, Your Honor, that
Okay.
that's running concurrent with the previous deal.
Okay. Okay.
That's not the condition. On
Okay.
this particular
That was the
case.
previous case. Okay. Understand. Okay. Let's see. So this is 0 fine. What's the court cost in this case?
292, sir.
292.
Yes, sir, 292.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
225. Let's see. Okay, now, Ms. Hirechuck, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During this 15-month probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine in this case. However, you will be required to pay court cost of $292. You required to pay a probation fee of $6 a month, your analysis fee of $15 each month, and $15 reimbursement fee. Now, that's $102 a month. But because you're already on probation, the probation fee and your analysis fee is probably going to be waived because these cases are running concurrent, so you'll be paying that one probation fee.
Okay.
So in essence, you'll be paying, your fees is $27, will probably be reduced to about $27 a month. Will you be able to pay that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this case will run, you'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. And this case will run concurrent with cause number M328663. Now, Ms. Hartruck, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hartruck, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Hartruck, your attorney, you're gonna stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Gertz.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Hey, Mr. Dole?
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, you may be excused.
Yes, that's fine, yeah, because I know it's a little spot.
You just hold on a minute.
Yes, sir.
Get to it. Okay, this is cause numbers 23 CCCR 0262, cause number M334210, both cases, Style State of Texas versus Chase Morgan Kimball. Mr. Kimball is present in court with his attorney, Mr. Dahl. Now, Mr. Dahl.
He has two requests. He has a request for trial for both cases.
Okay.
And he wants a special setting.
Okay, we can do that.
He can.
Okay, that's not a problem. We're gonna reset Chase Kimball for trial and give him a number one setting.
What do you mean special?
You wanted to have the trial finished.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go on the docket.
Yeah.
They're gonna your trial.
Yeah, she's gonna put you back on. Just so they're gonna give you a number one setting. So when you come up, your case will go at that time. Okay, y'all can just stand in front of the, just have a seat. And when the clerk is ready, she'll call you up to the window.
Okay.
And y'all have a blessed day. Jackson got 1, 2, 3. Dismissed. Let's see, Jackson, Tisha got 1, 2. Is she pleading any of them?
Yes.
Okay.
16.
Yeah, because I didn't have that one yet.
I sent that one over a while ago.
Did you get Keisha Jackson?
I did, Your Honor, but for some reason it won't even let me type it on it, but you can go ahead and follow that.
Ms. Stock noticed that issue as well. If you'll recall, when she originally came, we did a plea deal, and then at the last moment, she withdrew her plea. So I'm thinking that
I think it messed
it
up.
went through to some extent, so,
You
yeah.
didn't sign up on anything, so I don't believe you signed up on anything, but it just, she did, because she was originally pleading,
Mhm.
then she said she didn't want to take it.
It's still active, it's just obviously was
Right,
confused.
it's confused because it already has like fines in
Right.
there,
Mhm.
but it won't even like the charge won't even show up and need to move forward with type.
But if the state wanted to just dismiss that charge,
But I'm about to call and see what I
you
can
can
do.
do.
Okay, let's do this here. We're gonna get ready to get started. Y'all can just have a seat. This is cause number M333316, case of style of state of Texas versus Ambrasia DeCarry Roy. Ms. Roy, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Roy?
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, the recent daughter was done August 1st.
And she appeared here September 13th, signed a motion, let's see, judge's explanation of rights. On that date, it stated that she's waiving her right to an attorney. Where's the waiver? The waiver is not in the file? Did you sign a waiver? We have to get her to sign another waiver. Just have a seat. You ready? Jefferson County Court Alert number 2 is back in session. Do this here. The court is in session in 2 cases. Well, in 1 case, this case that's set on the trial docket. Court is in session in cause number M333019, case of style of state of Texas versus Elgin Jenkins Jr. Mr. Jenkins is present in court with his attorney, Attorney Brandon Paul Monk. State is present in this case with Assistant Criminal District Attorney, Attorney Erica Porter, and Attorney Andrew Hugh. State, are you ready?
State's ready.
Defense, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, this is a case that was reset from the original trial date. And the case had been reset after a jury was sworn in, and the court was to start hearing testimony on the next day. During that, prior to the hearing of the testimony, the state approached the court, the state and the defense approached the court about a matter that had occurred that morning. And the matter involved, as I recall from what was stated by the state and the defense, is that, oh, let me do this here. Before we get started on this case, pursuant to Article 1.24 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, all trials and proceedings shall be public. However, pursuant to the case of Lilly versus State 365 Southwest 3rd 321, the right to public trial is not absolute and may be outweighed by other competing interests, such as interest in security, preventing disclosure of non-public information, and ensuring that the defendant receives a fair trial. Now, as the court mentioned earlier, this case was set for trial. A jury was selected. A jury was sworn in, and that jury is scheduled to come back at 1:30 this afternoon. And before the jury comes in, we need to have this hearing outside of the presence of that jury. They're not in the courtroom. However, to ensure that Mr. Jenkins receives a fair trial so that no one will hear anything that goes on in this hearing, the court is going to close this hearing to the public. The court believes that the reason for the closure of the hearing is to ensure that Mr. Jenkins get a fair trial. Okay? And so the court finds that the closure of the hearing is no broader than necessary to protect Mr. Jenkins' rights. The court also finds that there are no other reasonable alternatives. And at this time, this portion of the hearing will be closed to the general public. And so at this time, we're going to ask those who are not associated with this trial, that's not associated with the district attorney's office. If you're an attorney, you can stay in. You can just please step outside. I think Mrs. Jenkins she's associated with y'all trial, right?
Yes.
Okay, she can stay in. But at this time, this hearing will be closed to the public.